Here's how I make the perfect soft and fluffy dinner roll. In your pot, combine a small amount of milk and flour. Cook this on low heat until it's a thick paste. This paste will keep the roll super light and fluffy. In your bowl, whisk together bread flour and salt. In your stand mixer, combine warm milk, brown sugar, and yeast. Then add in the eggs and the cooked down paste. Mix this on low speed for about 5 minutes. Then add in the bread flour and mix for 6 to 8 minutes. Then slowly incorporate softened butter and mix the dough for 8 to 10 minutes until it's smooth and elastic. Now add the dough to a greased bowl and cover and let rise until it's doubled. This should take about 1.5 hours. Release the air from the dough and reshape it. I like to let my dough rest in the fridge overnight, but if you don't have time, you can move on to this next step. Portion the dough out into pieces that are about 57 grams each. Then shape them into a smooth round and add them to your baking dish. Cover the dish with plastic sprayed with cooking oil and let these rise until they're almost doubled. Once the rolls are risen, gently brush the top with egg wash. Bake the rolls at 400 degrees for 22 to 26 minutes. Brush them with brown butter and sprinkle with flaky salt. Let these cool for just a few minutes before enjoying.
Here's the recipe for the pita bread my mom made yesterday. First, sift 4 cups of flour. Then you want to get 1 cup of warm water, add 1 tablespoon of yeast and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Mix and set aside. To your flour, you want to add 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of vinegar. Once your yeast has become frothy, go ahead and add it to your flour. You want to knead the dough with your hands. The dough is going to feel a little sticky, but that's okay. If you wet your hands a little bit while kneading, that should help. After kneading it in your bowl, go ahead and take it out onto your countertop and knead it a little bit more. As my mom is showing here, you can add slightly more water if you feel like your dough is still rough. Keep kneading it until it's nice and smooth. Cover your dough, you want to let it rest for 1 to 3 hours. Form into balls, you want to let that rest for another 10 minutes. Flatten out your bread, you want to let that rest for another 20 minutes. Bake at 550 and you want to keep your eye on them because they cook very fast. And you're done.
Of course, I don't mind sharing the recipe. This is how to make my super soft and fluffy garlic naan bread. Mix together yeast, sugar, water and milk. Cover this and let it set for 10 minutes. In a separate bowl, mix in plain flour, salt and olive oil. Pour in the yeast mixture and knead the dough really well. The dough should feel a little bit sticky. Cover this for an hour until the dough has doubled in size. After an hour, create your dough balls. I get around 9 dough balls and roll them out. Cook on a non-stick pan for around 3 minutes on each side. You will see bubbles start to form at the top and that's how you know it's done. And finally, to finish this off, add on some garlic butter mixture which consists of unsalted butter and garlic paste topped with some coriander leaves. Believe me, you will not be buying garlic naan from outside after trying this recipe. Look at how beautiful that's looking. Honestly, absolutely tasty and out of this world. Perfect for Ramadan.
Here is my take on the Philly cheesesteak recipe you've probably been seeing all over your TikTok. First step, slice up your peppers and red onions. We want these to be quite thinly sliced. We're going to fry these for a good 15 minutes. I've added in some salt and pepper. Once these are softer, I'm adding in butter as well as all of the spices listed on the screen. I always like to add in boiling water at this point because you really don't want your spices to burn. We're going to be frying these on a medium heat. Once the mix looks like this, I'm just going to put them on low with the lid on while I prepare my steak. I'm using beef chuck tender and this turned out really tender, so I'd recommend it. Olive oil into the pan and we're literally going to fry these for literally a minute. Steak seasoning and then another minute and then add them into our green pepper and onion mixture. We're going to fry this again for another 2 minutes to ensure that all the masala get into the steak. These will literally cook perfectly. For the garlic butter, around 4 cloves, a load of coriander in the microwave for 30 seconds. Cheese sauce, a whole pack of American cheese, milk on low for about 2 minutes and you get this perfect cheese sauce. Now to assemble, baking tray, brioche buns, garlic butter, then the cheese sauce, all of that lovely steak. Then I'm adding cheese onto half of this. I'm going to put the brioche bun lids on top, loads of garlic butter on top. This was so good. In the oven for about 10 minutes on 190 and you have got the most amazing iftar.
You have to make these for your iftar table this Ramadan. This is Ramadan recipe number 3 and I'm going to show you how to make these crispy potato and cheesy balls. Start by boiling some water, adding salt and your potatoes till they're completely soft. Whilst they're boiling, chop up a spring onion and some mozzarella. When your potatoes are done, mash them up until they're smooth. Add salt and whatever seasonings you want. I've used paprika, chili powder, black pepper. Add some corn flour and knead it until it's like a dough. You should be able to mold it in your hand. Add your spring onions, roll it into a ball and flatten it, and then add your mozzarella cubes in the middle, and then you're going to fold it over and roll it into a ball like this. Put it in the fridge. I did mine overnight. When you're ready to cook, get your breadcrumbs and mix it with some seasonings. Beat an egg, drop your ball into the egg, and then add it into your breadcrumbs as well. You can toss it around like this because it saves your hands from getting messy. Also, you don't have to put it in the fridge overnight. 15 minutes max is good enough. Once you've coated all your balls, put them in some oil. I put mine on a low heat because you only want to cook the outside till it's golden brown because the inside is all cooked anyway. And because it's a low heat, the mozzarella inside should melt. If it doesn't melt, put it in the air fryer for a bit. And that is it. That is your perfect starter for iftar.
Your search for the perfect Ramadan dessert ends right here because this Biscoff tiramisu takes only 6 ingredients and 10 minutes of work and tastes absolutely phenomenal. In a clean bowl, take 8 ounces of mascarpone cheese, half a cup of Biscoff cookie butter, 2 tablespoons of sugar, a dash of vanilla, and a pinch of salt. Go ahead and whisk this on medium-low speed until everything is well combined. Then add 2 cups of cold heavy cream and whisk again for a couple minutes until this mixture reaches stiff peaks. Just like this. And it's already time for assembly. You're gonna take Biscoff cookies and dip them quickly in espresso or strong coffee. And add 2 layers of the dipped cookies in the serving dish of your choice. Then add a layer of the Biscoff mascarpone cream mixture and spread it out as evenly as you can. And then repeat the whole process. So 2 layers of the soaked Biscoff biscuits followed by a layer of the Biscoff mascarpone cream. Lastly, I'm also going to pipe on some of this cream in dollops just to make things look pretty. And these go into the fridge until they're fully set. Once the tiramisu is set, decorate it with some crushed Biscoff cookies and some cookie butter and you're ready to enjoy. This is unbelievable, you guys.